Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Husna Khairani, and today I'm going to talk about applied internet linguistics. So first we need to know what is applied linguistics. We already talked about this before, but let me briefly explain it. So applied linguistics is using theory, ideas, or research about language to solve real-world problem where language is important, and it has many areas. Actually, one of it is internet, the one we're going to talk about for today, and the internet, it really depends on language, whether it is spoken or written. But however, it is hard to list all the project or internet uh, related projects where that have used language ideas, linguistic ideas, because it is not easily available. And the next point is about the problem areas. So the first thing that we need to do in applied linguistics is to identify the problems that we need to solve. And in internet online things, there are many different problems. It depends on the types of online activity that we do. Let's take some examples. The first one, we have search engine assistant. So of course, when we search for something, we want the results to be accurate, relevant, and also uh, current. But however, it, it is not always end up like that. Why? Because nowadays, like the search engine assistant, it is only search. The one of the biggest problem is because the words that have many different meanings or polysemy. So, for example, the word charge, it has different meaning. It might be in electrical, economic, crime, or something like that. So one way that we can do is to add the words in our searches, but only the right ones. But if we do not add the correct words, it can lead to other ambiguity or mixed up feeling. Like for example, when I want to search for charge in electrical sense, and then I add the word power, it can lead me to results such as in the no in the military, because those two words also connected. That is why it is really important for us to know the meaning, especially in semantic, to do this one. And then we have document classification. So of course, when we search for document, we want to all of the types in a certain topic, right, to quickly know that. But it doesn't always end up like that because the system is not specific yet. Yeah, because there are always problem in internet things. And let's take example, lawyer. Lawyer is a lawyer wants to search a case, all documents about Bosnia and I forgot the name of other countries, like let's say Herzegovina, if I'm not mistaken. So he only type it like that, like Bosnia and Herzegovina. He exclude other possibilities. That is why he couldn't find it. He excludes other possibilities, like maybe it use hyphen or the end mark. So uh, it is the problem of written writing pattern, and also names and place and something like that. It is also why it is important for us to know about the semantic, the grammar and spelling pattern. Next, for the e-commerce, yeah, as a users, when we want to buy something, of course we want to find the specific item that we want in a short time, but it doesn't always happen like that. For example, I use search for shampoo, but because I don't specify what shampoo I want to search, I want to know, I want to get, the results might contain like car shampoo, carpet shampoo, so it takes a longer time for me to get what I want. And for the online advertising, yeah, actually, we should post our advertising in a page that match our advertising. But in reality, it doesn't always happen like that. We often see a case like, for example, no, an advertising about knives in a page that talk about someone who is just get stabbed with knife. So instead of getting a positive result, positive feedbacks to our advertising, we get the negative feedback. Why? Because advertising, we advertise a knife in a let's call it crime scene, the one that describe the crime scene. So why would people buy that? They might as well criticize us. Next is the problem as ambiguity. So actually this is the problem on the internet that, how do I say it? It doesn't really it doesn't understand well about the fact that language is often unclear. So it can lead to ambiguity because, yeah, as I have mentioned before, also it is it is because the words that have many different meaning, polysemy. So there are two ways that we can do to understand meaning better. One from is the grammar, and the second one is from the word meaning. So grammars help us to figure out the meaning of a word through the sentence structure. Maybe it's the subject, the object, or something else. And for the word meaning, word types, we can know whether it is a verb, a noun, or something else also. But for the collocation or the word pairings, it doesn't help that much. For let's take example in power. Let's use that the word charge and power. It both can lead to military and electricity. So that is all. It is also important for us to know once again the semantic meaning, especially the semantic part actually. So yeah, the ambiguity problems. The linguists actually have to fix this problem in a short time, even though there is a better solution maybe in the future, maybe. But yeah, the linguists have to do this. Yeah. And there's a different, like in British dictionary they exclude the name of place and people unless they are well known, but in American dictionary, let's take Webster, they include all of them, like let's take Newport. So there's like in England, in Isle of Wight, and also Rhode Island. So yeah, we need to know all of it. And then we have a lexicopedic approach. So it is actually a lexicopedia. There are two ways to build lexicopedia. Lexicopedia is the mix of dictionary encyclopedia and dictionaries from the word lexicon. The first one is by adding the word meanings in an encyclopedia, or the other is to add the topic information in a dictionaries. So we can do that. For example, the word power, it can falls under the topic of crime, finance, electricity, and something like that. That is important for us to know that. Yeah. So the best ways to avoid all of this problem is actually by use both of the dictionaries and encyclopedia. We can use it simultaneously. We can use it to support each other, to complement each other. It is rather hard, but that's the best way. And then we have the centrality of semantics. So to fully develop the, what do we say, the internet, the applied internet linguistic, we need to understand the ideas of computer language processing, like how meaning is shown through words, spelling, sounds, or how the messages are structured. The social, stylistic, and practical uses are also affect how language is used. So that is why semantic is really important in these studies, because that is the core of language based online tools. Yeah, that is the core actually. And human intuition is also important. Yeah, the knowledge about language actually, because adults can like know, differentiate how words work and how they connect to each other. That is why we can combine the language, the know we can build the system from the language knowledge. So we don't have only search engine, but sense engine. So the search engine can understand the meaning. After the centrality of semantic, then we have the illustration. And illustration, let's take an example with online advertising. So since the late 1990s, many like yeah, many online tools have used in these areas. For example, let's see. Mhm, yeah, an illustration. For example, I want to promote. I want to advertise my product. Let's see, a plane, for example. But I cannot put my advertisement in a page that talk about plane crash because that can bring negativity to my product. So I don't want to advertise my product in a page that have bad review about my product. So we need to really examine which page is suitable for our ads. That's actually the key point for this. And we also have other aspect. We have graphology. It's like how the words looks on screen. So yeah, the graphology is like the writing system. So you need to like the harmony and so on and so on. And for the discourse analysis, it's like how the words are organized and structured in the screen. Yeah, like which one is the heading, which one leads to this one, which one to leads to conclusion. You cannot put random words when you want to advertise like refrigerator. So you have to talk about refrigerator mostly. And then we have pragmatic. So we need to know the background of the page. What is it written, and what effect does it want to achieve? Let's say maybe some page only give information. They don't advertise something else, because in business knowing the purpose is really important. That is why we need to what do we call it, like background check, I would say, before we post something in a page. So that's really important. Then we have variation. So variation, it's not only, it's actually like how we put some information, our advertisement, talk about advertisement again, in the right level, word in the right level. And because it's also different, it difference, right? Also talk about the regional. In British we have what is it, like in the UK we have sidewalk, in the Australia we have footpath. So it's not only one sentence, one single key is not effective in this matter. So we need to expand that system. And the last one we have diachrony. So now language is changes over time. Language changes over time. So we need to study how it evolves. And it's not only about the past, or not only about the future, but also about the past. We need to study the language in the past so we can, like how do we say it? We can publish, not publish. We can put it in our page, put it in our advertisement, put it in our applied internet linguistic, all the online things. So that is really important. The diachrony, the time, we need to know how language changes, so we know the future, we know the past. That is all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.